We begin with this. Two teenage boys will now be tried as adults after being charged with the murder of a photographer in Ohio. Victoria Schaefer died instantly on Labor Day when she was hit by a 74-pound log at a park in Hocking County. Now, this log fell from the edge of a cliff. Prosecutors say that two 16-year-olds, Jaden Churches and Jordan Buckley, are to blame for that. Jerika Duncan is here with the latest on the case. Jerika, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Why are they facing these charges as adults?
Well, it really comes down to intention. The prosecutors claim that Churches and Buckley pushed the log that killed Victoria Schaefer. Now a grand jury will ultimately decide whether or not to indict the 16-year-olds not only on murder charges, but felonious assault and involuntary manslaughter charges as well. But the attorneys for the teens argue those charges are far too harsh. On September 2nd, Victoria Schaefer was out taking senior pictures for a group of high school students at Hocking Hill State Park in Ohio. That's when the photographer and mother of four was struck by a 6-foot-long, 74-pound log that fell from above without warning. It killed her instantly. Students and other witnesses immediately called 911.
A tree branch fell on her. Slow down. I can't understand you. What happened? A tree branch fell on her.
I think she's dead. There's no pulse.
Is her chest rising and falling?
No, there's no movement.
At the time, authorities began investigating whether the tree section was dislodged on purpose. Last month, they determined two 16-year-old boys did in fact push the log intentionally.
This is not an accident. This was not something that, just happened.
But one of the boys' attorneys argues his client had no idea the log would kill someone.
The prosecution cannot prove murder, which is the most serious of the charges, unless they can prove that this log was pushed over the edge knowing that it would kill somebody. And I do not think they can do that.
Ohio law states that someone can be charged with murder in the second degree if they do something intentionally that leads to a death, even if the death itself is not premeditated.
The judge believes that they should be charged with murder.
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says as the case moves out of juvenile court, a grand jury will now determine whether or not intentionally pushing that log merits the murder charges.
I think that the grand jury, under these circumstances, will come back with one charge or another and not simply let them walk free.
Schaefer's family remains devastated. We spoke to her sister, Kathy, who told us Schaefer died doing what she loved.
She got the opportunity to, leave corporate America and pursue her photography full time. She used to draw and paint and do all these things, but photography ended up being her medium that helped her do what she really loved.
Both teens are still in juvenile detention centers on $100,000 bond. The Washington Post reports a grand jury could decide whether or not to indict them today. And if that happens, they could appear before a judge next week with a trial to follow.
It's chilling stuff. I mean, as a parent, if you have boys in particular, it seems like it's always boys in these cases. You
Sometimes
do one dumb thing,
stupid thing,
really dumb stuff, and this is the time to remind them it can change lives forever.
Yeah, it was hard to hear, though, it was bad enough to hear about Ms. Schaefer's death, but then to hear she was a mother of four. It just takes on a whole nother layer.
It's just tragic all the way around.
Yes.
Jerika, thank you.